All right, guys, welcome back. This is going to be my first real official full video in my new studio. I think there's still some echo going on in here, so I hope it doesn't come through too much in the video. But yeah, let me know what you think. The image is probably very similar to what it was at my old place, but the audio is still a little bit, I'm still working on the acoustics of this room. So what we have today for my first video in the new studio is something from one of my favorite makers, RJ Martin. I have owned the Q36SS for a little while now. This came from Blade Show 2022 that I got from a buddy. And this one I just got about 2 weeks ago, I think, give or take. It was the week before I moved. So, 10 days ago or so I got this. And this is the RJ Martin Modulator, which you could really, you could call it a mini Q36. Not a Q36 SS, and we'll get into all the specs, and I'm going to talk mostly about the modulator, but because they're both here, I'm going to just do kind of a quick comparison of them as well. Totally different prices, totally different, not totally different. They're different price ranges, but this one was in the 3,000 range and this was in the 1,500 range. Okay. Bought these used. This one I got about a week or so after Blade Show. Is still brand new. Somebody had picked it up. I had something else they wanted better. So we traded plus a little bit of cash. Now, I left the blades dirty because I use both of these. I used both of these while I was moving, packing, unpacking, and all of that. So maybe that's a faux pas, but on knives that I own, I like to just show you kind of straight out the pocket. And yes, I have been actually carrying this one today. So this video is straight out of the pocket. So let's just put this one to the side for a moment and focus on the modulator. This is titanium scales, Mokutai clip, Timascus clip. I don't know the specific specs. They're very similar depending on the material made, and I've talked about that in other videos, with an orange G10 backspacer. So this one is a really great EDC size. A lot of people are turned off or scared away by a 3 3/4 inch bladed knife, which we'll just put that guy in the corner there. And he's 3 3/4. This guy for the blade is 3.47. So you are getting a smaller package with all of the same finesse, the same custom work, handwork, and the precision to detail. So both awesome. This one, the detent is lighter, slightly lighter, which I like. I prefer this detent more than this detent. But as I've owned this and it's broken in more and I've gotten used to it, it doesn't bother me and break my finger as it did before. All right, so the specs on this guy real quick is 4.5. Let's just compare them. 4.5, 4 7/8. 7 7/8 overall versus 8 13/16. Blade length is 3.47, 3.95. Sorry, I think I said 3.75 before. It's 3.95. Edge 3.36 versus 3.75. That's where I got the 3.75 is you have 3.75 inches of cutting edge on the big boy. Behind the edge is very similar at 0.0111, 0.11. Blade thickness is 0.158 versus 134. Again, this is the super slim version. Everything is slimmed down a little bit. You have S110V on the modulator, and this particular one came in MagnaCut, which I have been using the heck out of and even damaged the tip a little bit. And I talked about that in a different video. Maybe I'll show you a close-up of that. Maybe I won't. We'll see. 5 ounces versus 4.2. So the overall thickness, this is where the super slim factor comes in. Overall thickness on this guy is 0.513 and on this one is 0.452. They both run on bearings. They both feel very similar in the hand, just smaller packages. This one carries well in the pocket. This one, I think, carries greater in the pocket just because it is a little more slim. I don't have a problem generally carrying a 4-inch bladed knife. That is in my my realm of what I normally will carry a lot of times. I know a lot of people, that's just too big. This guy, when you pull it out in an office setting or something, under 3.5 inches, nobody's really going to say much or be nervous or concerned. As we zoom in, again, I use my stuff, so they are dirty. It's got tape residue and all that good stuff. Titanium scales. I don't know if that's zirconium hardware. It very well could be because he does do a lot of zirconium in this hardware. So that could be zirconium hardware. Beautifully milled pocket clip, which is just great. It works great in the pocket. This one has a little less retention than the bigger one. And then you can see where he stamps them S110. On the other one, it's stamped Magna Cut. Lock bar stabilizer, over travel stop, all the good stuff. Steel lock bar insert, all the good stuff. No milling on the inside. And just that beautiful pop of orange for the backspacer. I love that. Now we take a look at this guy. This is Zerk hardware. This is not carbo tie. It is just fat carbon, but it is milled. You can see the milling there. I did a full video on this. At the end of this video, I will put a link to my RJ Martin playlist, so you can go check that out. I am pretty sure this is a Zerk clip. But again, I don't remember. This one has a little more retention in the pocket clip, so I do prefer that a little bit. Slightly, the retention is slightly better on the Super Slim than it is on the Modulator. They have a very distinctive sound. Here is the RJ Martin logo. Here it is Magna Cut, and maybe if you can see up here at the very tip, if it would focus. Yeah, I chipped a little bit of the tip. That's okay. I'll get this sharpened and that'll come right out. It's not really bad. But I use my stuff, and yes, it's a $3,000 knife that I chipped the tip on. Does that make me an idiot? Slightly. Okay. Blade finish, actually. This one is a little bit more muted than the mirror polish almost on the SS blade. I prefer the muted blade a little bit. It doesn't really bother me either way. Like I said, I use my stuff. It's a $3,000 knife that I damaged. Am I upset about it? Nope. Didn't even really faze me. I mean, I think for a moment I was like, damn it. But that was it. I use my stuff. I encourage you guys to use your knives. I don't really have anything out and unpacked yet for size comparisons. I do have a Sharpie here. I'll show you that. I have a Sharpie and I have a D-cell battery, which happens to weigh 5 ounces, the same as the Modulator. So there you go. I am still in the process of unpacking and organizing and situating and all of that. It's going to take what seems like forever. But yeah, I use my stuff. I carry my stuff, whether it's a $10 knife or a $10,000 knife. I just throw it in my pocket and I go about my day. If it gets scratched, if the tip chips, if I do something like a dumbass, that's my own fault. And I can't blame the knife for that because, well, there's a reason why the blade chipped, because I was doing stuff you shouldn't do. So I try to use them, not abuse them, but sometimes you got to get work done and stuff happens, and that's okay because it's my knife, and yeah, it's just what happens. We'll get it fixed and off you go. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this, and please go check out the RJ Martin playlist that I will link up in the corner. If you made it this far, comment mini-me in the comments.